Oh. What? What is that? Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. I dropped my phone and then closed the camera. Maybe I shouldn't do a live right now. Maybe I'm not in the right mindset to do a live. All right, we're gonna find out. Where's my work phone? There it is. All right. Tristan, hello. Thanks for coming in. Heart of a Warrior, thank you for coming in too. Hope you guys are doing good. I am just getting started on some emails. I gotta write a to-do list, otherwise I forget everything I'm supposed to do. It is the bane of my existence is my memory issues. Okay, so what have I already done? Picked up my meds. Good thing I remembered that. Did that. Hamster Nation rules. Hello, thanks for coming in. Sell office recliner. Did that. Check. Once my work phone charges up a bit here, I'll go live on TikTok as well. Pick up meds from Hy-Vee. I did that. I still gotta go to the gym tonight. Oh, getting healthy kinda sucks. Kinda sucks. You are welcome. I am Ham. Hello, Ham. Welcome. Welcome to you, Ham. I know someone who likes hamsters. Her name's Allison. Check. I did that. Did that. Oh, Allison, while you're in here, apparently Hunter's baby shower is tomorrow at 11 in Westby. So I might plan to go to that. I might just stay up tonight, get everything I need to done, go to that, and then come home and sleep. That might be my plan. So you're welcome to come if you want, but I know you're trying to rest. I'm just letting you know that's what I'm planning on doing. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, the AC turned off. No. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'm just hanging out, so I apologize if I seem a little frantic and chaotic today. I have so much to do, but I also because of my ADHD, I need a body double. So I've been using live videos as a body double. What's up? Not much. I'm getting ready. I have a trip coming up I'm going to be speaking at an event on Wednesday in Pittsburgh. And then I'll be going to Appleton. I'm doing a comedy set. I'm really excited about that. I've been trying to do more stand-up comedy. So I'm doing a comedy set in Appleton, Wisconsin on the 13th, I think. 12th or 13th. I'll have to double check. And then I think it's the 13th. And then the week after that, all week I'm in San Diego. So I'm just prepping for all my traveling coming up. Thursday the 11th, I got to take my favorite little pal to the fair. So that's a week from yesterday. So I got to do that. And then yeah, so plenty to do, plenty to keep me busy. I'm trying to do more videos promoting my book. My book sales have started to slow, so I'm trying to promote that so that the publisher will continue to work with me in the future, because I want to do a few more books. I want to do a couple different topics, and then like just one about my life and my journey through schizophrenia. So the only way they're going to do that is if I can get some more sales on this book, because I'm a bit behind what they were hoping. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some book promos, and right now I'm working on emails, checking off my to-do list. Just make sure I didn't do anything else that's on here. Take that off there because I'm not going to do that tonight. I love your videos. I have schizoaffective. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Caleb. I hope you're doing well. It's definitely, I love talking to other patients because it's like, I think we can all relate to the idea. Like none of us expected this or none of us planned for this, but we're all making the best out of it, you know? Question, are you ADHD? Yes. Yeah, so, and you're asking about mixing stimulants and antipsychotics. Yeah, so this is going to be, make sure you talk to your psychiatrist about this. It was definitely something we had to consider with my own treatment. There are non-stimulant options for ADHD meds. I don't know like what the effectiveness is of that. I did get put on a stimulant. However, it was not just like an easy to, like it took quite a while of like working with my psychiatrist to figure out that it would be an okay fit for me. And we had to monitor it really close to make sure that it didn't increase my symptoms of my schizophrenia. And it's hard to manage both, right? Because it's like your brain is actively working in two different directions. And like stimulants, statistically, when people have used stimulants, they don't really help with psychosis and things like that. So it's a very like hard to manage combination, but you'll just have to work really close with your clinical care team. And if you start like a stimulant or even a non-stimulant, just make sure that you're monitoring and your family and friends that are around you are making sure that it's not increasing your symptoms of your psychosis or schizophrenia. And you just got to watch it really close and be careful. I have schizophrenia and a depression diagnosis. Well, I wish you the best, Tristan. I'm graduating treatment and they want me to do, and I did it. I am 13 months clean. That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, I am actually this month will be 10 years that I've been sober. I think September 25th, if I remember correct, or September. It's coming up here. I don't remember. I'll have to look back and see the exact day, but it's coming up. So this month, craziness. It goes quick once you get sober and you've been doing it for a while. It goes quick. which is crazy because in the beginning, it's just in the beginning you're like, God, this could not like this is gonna take so long, and it's you know it definitely once you get going with it, it's a quick process. You kind of forget about it eventually. Like I realized I was coming up on my 10 year, and I was like, wow, that's hard to believe because it's been 2015 was the year I got out of jail and I got sober and got my schizophrenia diagnosis. So lot happened in between there and getting that. Oh wait, sorry, I'm just looking at my calendar. I realized something got marked down wrong here. I've only made it a year and a half. Yeah, it's a process, and it's different for everyone too. A lot of people, uh, a lot of people have relapses. A lot of people have a lot of hiccups. I myself, I didn't have any relapses, but I had a lot of very close calls, and I had a lot of cravings, a lot of stuff like that, and especially as I started like really dealing with some of the trauma that I dealt with, being undiagnosed with schizophrenia and all that stuff. It takes time, and it's not easy. I think it's easy for people to look at individuals in recovery and be like, "Oh, all you have to do is not do that," but it is tough. Happy birthday, brother! It is not my birthday, so I don't know who that is. Whoever used to have my business phone number was a very popular guy. Hey, from Jamaica, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for coming in. All right, so I got my to-do list here. I got a trauma therapist too. That's awesome. A lot of people like that's so good to hear. One of my frustrations with recovery, not just mental health recovery, but addiction recovery, is a lot of people start getting treatment. They start taking medication, and then they stop. Like they don't stop treatment and medication, but they stop trying to like get well. They stop trying to heal, and I see that a lot, and it's frustrating, but also like sad because I don't think anyone's telling them like, hey, you should like medication's great. I love medication. I'm a huge advocate for it. I talk about it a lot in my own journey, but that's not all recovery is. You have to, go to counseling, go to therapy, do all of the things that do all of the things that you didn't get the care you needed, and that takes time, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes more than just medication or more than just AA or more than just NA. Counseling helped me. Yeah, I'm a huge like uh, if it wasn't for counseling, therapy, all the treatments I did, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. Okay. Score update. Okay, so I need to do this by September 6th, which is tomorrow. Okay, great. I got to do that tonight. Another thing I got to do. Literally was so against meds, but you have to do all the things that, yeah. No, I was very anti-medication when I started, because I grew up in a small town in the Midwest. So unfortunately, everyone in the area where I grew up is very anti-medication, anti-pharmacy, anti-pharmaceutical, and they'll literally judge you if you have a mental illness or you take medication or you get treatment, you know. So I was very anti all those things growing up, and I'm glad that I finally, you know, took the advice of some people around me and did those things, because I wouldn't be here today without it. My son doesn't always accept his new diagnosis. He started medication 4 months ago and is already saying he doesn't need it. That can be really common. You know, I got to that point where I was doing really well on medication and I was like, I don't need this anymore. And I think it goes back to the stigma around medication. What I would recommend is if he doesn't already, try to get him into a peer support group, because in peer support they talk a lot about like, why do we continue to take our medication? Why is it important that even though we're feeling better, you know, we still do our daily medication and our counseling and our therapy? Because sometimes like we start doing well or we start doing even a little bit better and we're like, oh, I don't, you know, I can just pull myself up by my bootstraps and I can do this myself without any help. And so which is like a good attitude to have, honestly. I used to have that attitude, but I think it's misguided. I think it's okay to accept help. And I know like we want to do things very independently and we want to do things ourselves and we don't want to have to rely on medication. And a lot of people around me, including people I went to peer support with, reminded me that it was okay to take meds and it was okay to ask for help. And without them, I likely would not have been able to stay on meds. I don't think I would have continued pursuing wellness. And so if you can, try to convince your son to do in-person peer support or even online peer support. Any types for beating psychosis? I would say just, you know, continue whatever your treatment regimen is with your clinical care team. Try to be, I know a huge thing that happens to people in psychosis, and I went through this too, was I isolated myself. So try not to isolate yourself, try to get around people, try to go out in public, and even though it's scary and it can be really intimidating when you live with a severe mental illness, but all of that stuff, just keep doing it, and it'll eventually help with like daily functioning, cognitive ability, stuff like that. I'm on a monthly injection. I am also on an injection. I don't talk about specific name brands. So Amber, I see you're asking about what meds I'm on. I will say that I'm on a long-acting injection, but I don't talk about name brand medication because everyone has different brain chemistry. Everyone responds differently to medication. So what works well for me might not work well for the next person. So I do disclose that I'm on that form of treatment. But as for like dosage or type or brand, I don't do that because I think it's important for people to work with their care team to figure out what is the best fit for them. I do appreciate the question, and this isn't me like trying to call you out, but that's why I don't answer specifically. Hey, I love your work. I'm a mental health professional. Thank you so much, Mick. I love that. I connect with. I'm so like honored to know that like a lot of psychiatrists, social workers, doctors follow me, and like like I've had doctors and psychiatrists tell me they use my content to help their patients and their people they work with, and that always is like a huge honor to me. So thank you for the work you do, but also thank you for following me and you know, utilizing my content for patients. I hope that it continues to be helpful, and that does mean a lot to me, so thank you. Thanks for being on live. It's hard being schizophrenic with no support. That also means a lot to me. So thank you. I always say that like the reason I continue to do advocacy is I want to be the voice that I needed when I was first diagnosed, because it's really scary when you're like I said, I grew up in a small rural town. People didn't talk about mental health. My own mom was diagnosed, and she tried to help like talk about it and get me through it, but she herself has a schizophrenia diagnosis, and she struggles day to day, so communication can be really hard with her. So I felt super alone when I was diagnosed, and now I get to not only connect with people, but I get to be that person who helps people better understand their diagnosis or be able to learn how to live a more functional life with it, which is like the greatest honor for me. So I share your stuff with people I work with too. It really does make. Thank you guys. You guys are all so nice. I appreciate it. No, that does. Thank you guys. That's why I continue to advocate. I think it is really important, and I hope that it even helps. Like if it, and I can say this because I've gotten these messages. I always used to say, if my content helps even one person, I will feel like that's a win. And now I get to reach millions of people, and I have hundreds, if not thousands, reaching out. Every single week telling me that my content has helped them or helped them understand a loved one or helped them work more with their patients. So that always really inspires me to continue doing this. And I know I keep going back to typing here. I'm just trying to get through emails. I use lives as like a form of shadowing, having like a person with me to do stuff. Otherwise, I can't focus on it. So Friday, September. Oh yeah. So now Monday, September 22nd. I am a hamster. Hello, hamster. I am a Kody. Where are you from? I'm from the United States. I live in Wisconsin. I was born and raised in rural Wisconsin. I still live here now. So a little bit begrudgingly, especially as winter is starting to approach. Like it got colder this week. Not cold. It got down to like 60 degrees, which just reminds me that winter is coming. And I always dread the winter a little bit. I have very bad seasonal depression, mostly because like one, it's cold, I can't go outside, I can't socialize as much, but also I'm less busy because I'm self-employed, and all of the stuff I do is during the summer, during the spring, and so once winter hits, it becomes really difficult for me to do stuff, and I get stuck at home, and I get really depressed. So I'm trying to figure out ways to stay busy during the winter now. Finding employment can be difficult. Yeah, it's a topic I discuss a lot. And sorry, not to plug this, but I just happen to have it laying next to me. I did just write a whole book about mental health and mental illness in the workplace. It's called Minds Over Meetings. And it just came out in January, and it's all about my lived experience learning how to function in the workplace. But it's also about like how employers and managers can help people living with schizophrenia and mental illness and struggling with mental health, hold and keep jobs. So if you want to check it out, it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, plenty of other places. So yeah. Would you consider schizophrenia a disability? Yes. So schizophrenia is considered a disability. That's not that's not me saying that. That's by definition, schizophrenia is a disability. I often refer to myself as a disability advocate as well as a mental health advocate because it's an invisible illness, but it still is something that impacts every day of my life. And so, yes, schizophrenia is a disability. The next question someone asked is, have you ever thought about getting on disability? And I explored it when I was first diagnosed, but I ended up being able to find some places to work, and I was able to continue working throughout the years. I had a lot of different jobs. I got fired a lot. It was a lot of issues, but I managed to like always find some sort of work. Never glamorous at first. Like I worked on a farm. I worked in a creamery making cheese. I worked in a distribution center. And then eventually, like as I got more stable, I was able to find employers that were really able to accommodate me. I ended up working in office roles. I worked as a salesperson. I did lots of different things, and now I work full time as content creator and as a speaker. But I did consider it early on before I thought I was going to be able to do that. And Tristan just said this. He said, Social Security disability doesn't pay enough. I'm on it. And so that was part of the reason I ended up trying to continue working, was because I didn't think I was going to be able to survive on what I was looking at getting on disability. So I also grew up with a mom who was on disability, and life was really hard for us because, she was the only source of income we had for the family. And she was trying to raise 3 kids, and we were always struggling. We rarely had food in the house. And so it's hard, it's hard to utilize those programs. I don't think those programs have enough funding. Now they're losing more funding. So all of that is really frustrating. And that's largely why I tried really hard to stay in the workforce and find different jobs. And that wasn't always easy, especially in a smaller rural community. It's pretty limited for work. But I was able to figure out, and that's what I talk about in my book, is like figuring out how to look for employers that will be more accommodating, or what questions to ask, or what rights you have as a worker. All of that stuff is really important when you're looking into working with a severe mental illness. All right, got that email sent in. Thank you guys. I'm doing this as like a body doubling, and it's helping me get these emails done. I am probably going to hop off of here and go jump onto TikTok. I'm going to be on here for another 2-3 minutes. So if you have any final questions, or if you want to jump over and hang out with us on TikTok, I really appreciate it. But sorry, just grabbing a drink of my soda there. But yeah, I'm going to do another live over there, and then, yeah, go from there. Holding an event in Potosi. Allison, where's Potosi? We'd love to have you speak for the middle school and high school students, as well as... Have you ever considered becoming a hamster? No, I have not. Maybe I should, though. Might be a good time. Might be a good time to consider that. Excuse me. Potosi. I was like, where's my phone? I'm literally doing a live on it. That's where it is. I turned the AC down, and now it's almost too cold in here. Hello, Maria. I don't know why it matters. I'm messaging, so I don't have to pronounce it correctly. You ought. Yeah, probably. Boop. Could you show your book again so I can screenshot it? Yeah. So it's called Minds Over Meetings. If you click the link in my bio on any of my social media, it'll be on there as well. Or it's on my website, kodygreen.com. But yeah, if you Crap. I'll hold it up a little bit longer. I don't know. I know the chat's delayed, so. Okay. Fun fact, Potosi has the longest main street in the world without an intersection. That's really interesting. I don't know. Without any intersection? How? Now I'm going to have to go see it. It's backwards. Oh, yeah. I can't. That's just going to. Oh, wait. Can I? Or no, that just flips the camera. Yeah, I don't think I can do that on my end. Sorry. You'll have to flip it in your photos. If you have an iPhone, I'm sure you can do it on a Samsung too. Just flip it on the. It's worth the Google. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off and go over to TikTok. So feel free to come over if you want to hang out a bit longer. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, and I will talk to you soon.